Next, let us talk about some of the reasons of thinking and the various types of thinking. So now here I have given a list of reasons why we think, and these reasons can be the processes of thinking as well. Manifestation means appearance. When a problem or a situation or an object presents itself before you, appears before you, it is called manifestation. When a child sees an elephant for the first time, you can say that an elephant is manifested before the child. So this manifestation or appearance of an elephant can be a reason for thinking, and the child is absorbing some information about the elephant through his eyes, through his nose, through his ears. So this manifestation is a process of thinking as well. And when the child goes to a zoo for the first time, then the child is experiencing the zoo, the sights, the sounds, the smell of the zoo. So this experience can be a reason for thinking and a process for thinking as well. Similarly, when a child is trying to imitate somebody, the child has to observe that person and then try to reproduce that actions or that behavior and imitate the person. So this imitation can be a reason for thinking, and the process of imitation, as I said, is a process as well. And when the child goes to a school for the first time, then the child is understanding what the school is all about, what happens in a school, what teachers do, what is expected out of them. So the child is understanding the concept or the idea of a school. So this concept is a reason for thinking, and what is happening in the process of understanding this concept is also a process of thinking. When you are imagining something, it is a reason for thinking, and imagination is a thinking process as well. Similarly, when you are interested in something, when you desire something, when you are motivated by something, it is a reason for thinking and it is a thinking process. Similarly, when you have to solve a problem or a situation, then you are using some logic and reasoning. So that again is a reason for thoughts, and the usage of logic and reasoning is a thinking process. Next, let us talk about the types of thinking. I have listed down 6 different types of thinking here. But at any given point of time, you can use any combination of these 6 different types. For example, you can be using convergent thinking. At the same time, you can also be using reflective thinking and critical thinking as well. So you can use any combination of these. Convergent thinking means everybody is thinking in the same way. For example, in your classroom, if you teach the students a standard process or a standard formula for calculating the area of a triangle, then you give them all some different triangles and ask them to calculate the area, they will all try to use the same steps and the same process that you taught them. So everybody is thinking in the same way. That is convergent thinking. In the same classroom, you give the children this star polygon or this star shape and ask them to calculate the area of the star. You have not taught them the formula to be used here. So every child will look at the same problem and they will try to arrive at a solution in a different way. They will look at the problem in a different way. For example, some children might see that there are 5 triangles and there is one pentagon in the middle, which means that if they calculate the area of this 5 triangle and the pentagon and add them up, they will get the area of this star. Some children may look at it in a different way. They might see that there is one triangle in the middle and there are 3 small triangles. So if they calculate the area of this big triangle and add it to the area of these 3 small triangles, they will again get the area of this star. So children are looking at the same problem in different ways and they are trying to arrive at a similar solution, but they are all thinking in a different way. So that is divergent thinking. Reflective thinking means you are reflecting on your existing knowledge or learning or experience and trying to solve a new problem using that previous knowledge or experience. For example, when you gave the children the star and asked them to calculate the area of the star, they were reflecting on their existing knowledge or previous learning where they learned how to calculate the area of a triangle, and they were trying to use the formula and the process that you taught there to solve this new problem. So they were using reflective thinking here to use previous knowledge to solve a new problem. Next, linear thinking. So linear thinking means thinking in a line. So linear thinking is very similar to convergent thinking. In linear thinking, what happens is you follow a specific set of steps or a specific path and try to arrive at a solution. For example, if you have taught children a formula to calculate the area of a triangle, and then you give them some triangles to solve or calculate the area of a few triangles. They will use the same steps and the same formula and the same method and arrive at a solution. So they are thinking in a linear manner. Whereas lateral thinking means, like when you gave them this star and asked them to calculate the area of a star, and you did not give them any formula for this, they were forced to think about other ways. They were forced to think laterally because they did not have a series of steps that they could follow. They could not think in a linear manner. So they were forced to think laterally and see if there is a option A or a type B or a option C, using which they can arrive at an answer for this problem. So lateral thinking means it is very similar to divergent thinking. And then critical thinking. So critical thinking means that you are thinking in a critical manner. You are thinking about the pros and the cons, that is the positives and the negatives of your solution, and trying to see which is the best way to arrive at an answer. For example, some children might have seen that, okay, there are 5 triangles here and there is one pentagon in the middle, so let me use that method to calculate the area of this star. But then they realize that, but I don't know how to calculate the area of this pentagon. I don't know the formula. So I cannot use that method. Then they will think, okay, if I use this method where there is one triangle in the middle and then there are 3 triangles remaining, so I'll use the triangle formula to calculate. I already know how to use a formula to calculate the area of a triangle, so I'll use that method. That is option B. So in critical thinking, children are looking at all the possible options and trying to find the best one or the most easiest one for them to arrive at a solution. So critical thinking is positives, negatives, pros and cons.